Hello guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be doing every World Cup team, even the teams that don't qualify like UAE, Scotland and all that, and ranking them in a tier list. So brilliant, good, underrated, poor, and bin, terrible. Honestly disgusting to get out. Literally why are you in the World Cup? How are you in the World Cup? So yeah, should we start off with Senegal? You got a few very decent players like Mane, Mendy comes to mind as well. They've got Miley Sarr. Senegal are a very strong side, looking good in the World Cup, and I think they will do well in the World Cup. They're not a brilliant side. They're not underrated. They're rated. I'm going to put them in the good category. A lot of teams will probably be put in a good category. They are a good side. Honestly, yeah, they are. Yeah, they got a few very good players. Very good players, and yeah. Moving on to Ecuador. Ecuador, honestly, they're not good, but they're not poor. And this is a reaction that really, loads of people, even me, say, Ecuador aren't good, but then they're not a poor side. They're underrated for me. They are very underrated. They are, they can do well in this World Cup, and honestly, they really can do well in this World Cup. Ecuador, they could be the surprise package. They're very underrated. People, even me, I'm saying underrated, but a lot of people not really taking Ecuador too seriously. Watch out for Ecuador, they're a very strong side. Moving on to the Dutch, and they're really round there, half and half between brilliant and good. I'm just gonna say good. I think one or two more players and they'll make them good. They are a good side. Van Dijk, goes Bergwijn. Got some really, really good players, Netherlands, and they're just a bit sometimes they can be a bit loose and lose games they shouldn't do. Czech Republic, for example, they should have won, but they didn't. So yeah, Netherlands for me, they're between brilliant and good, but I'm just going to go good. Qatar, poor. They're half and half between bin and poor. They're poor, yeah. Honestly, they're poor. Who do they have? No one. They literally have no one. Well, I don't really know any of their players. People might know their players. It might be good. They could be a surprise package just because they're the home team. If they weren't the hosts, they would be out. They wouldn't even be in this conversation. They wouldn't be even in this tournament. So, yeah, it's between poor and bin. They're poor. They're a very poor side. Moving on to England. It's not me being biased at all. It's just they're brilliant. We are brilliant. This nation is brilliant. It's brilliant. And is it coming home? I said, can England win the World Cup? I'll do a lot more of them when we get closer. But yeah, honestly, is it coming home? I don't know. But we are a brilliant side. No one can deny that. You can't deny that. We are a brilliant side. Moving on to Iran. What can I say? No, let's keep example. I'm gonna keep example, but Iran, Ben. Sorry, Ben. Moving on to Scotland. They're not good. I'm gonna say underrated. They are an underrated squad. To be fair, they have got a few really good players. They're not really good, but they've got a few decent players. Shea Adams, Scott McTominay. I don't even want to got him in this conversation. He's just not that good. Scott McTominay. I'll just say him again. John McGinn, Robertson. Their keeper's actually good as well. I forgot his name, Marshall. He's good. They got Hanley from Norwich, I think, as well. They've got a few really good players. Not really good. They've got a few average and some good players. Tinney, I forgot his name. Lyndon Dykes. They've got a few decent players. So yeah, Scotland underrated for me. Ukraine. There's a poor side. I know there's a war, but I can still say they're a poor side. Yeah. They're between underrated and poor. They're not underrated. They're poor. They are, yeah. It's simple as that. Moving on to USA. things, and it's between poor and underrated. I'm gonna go good. No, underrated. Yeah, USA underrated. They got a few actually pretty good players. Pulisic, Dest, and a few other players playing well. Marshall, no, what's his name? From Norwich, or whatever, like centre mid from Norwich. He played well when he played. Yeah, for me, underrated. For me, USA can actually be a force to be reckoned with. Moving on to Wales. Yeah, an underrated side. Definitely an underrated side. They have actually got a few good players. They're between underrated and poor. But yeah, they got a few good players. They got Bale, Ramsey, Dan James is actually decent. And they got what's that kid from? You used to play Harry Wilson. Yeah, a few names. So yeah, not a bad side. Moving on to Argentina. Oh, they're not a brilliant side. I know they got Messi. Actually, they are a brilliant side. Sorry, they are a brilliant side. They got Messi. I'm sorry, but it's not just Messi as well. They are just a brilliant side. Messi, Di Maria, Martinez, Martinelli. No, not Martinelli. Martinez. Martinez from Inter Milan as well. Very stacked squad. Moving on to Mexico. Mexico. Poor. No, actually, I'm going to say underrated. I'm going to change that category to. I'm going to change that category to very good, and then change this category to good. No, um, very good, brilliant, brilliant, very good. What should I name that? What should I name that category? What are these all teams? They're good. They're very good and good. There we go. Good, poor, but yeah. All right, so yeah, good. Mexico, good side. Very good side. I'm not restarting this whole video just to change a category. Good. Mexico. Moving on to Poland. Right, they're poor side, aren't they? Yeah, they're poor side. Can't really say much about that. They are just not a poor side. They're a very poor side. Who they have? Lewandowski, he can't really do anything, can he? Like, what was he meant to do? Like, absolutely nothing. Like, they're just, none of their players are good. And yeah, like, they're just not a good side. Which, yeah, is not good for Poland. I don't think they'll do well in this World Cup at all. So, yeah, that's that. Moving on. This is still going. So moving on to the next game, which is next team Saudi Arabia. Absolutely dreadful team. Dreadful team. They have literally nobody. They have absolutely nobody. Like, who they have? Honestly, they have no one. So yeah, moving on to Denmark, and they're a very good side. They are a team to be forced to be reckoned with. They're not a brilliant side, but they're a very good side. With Christian Eriksen back, Damsgaard, Braithwaite from Barca. Yeah, and the Schmeichel in goal. Christensen has such a good squad, honestly, and you can tell by what the World Cup, the Euros even, how good they were as a team. They were a brilliant, brilliant side, and yeah, Denmark are definitely a team to watch out for, and they'll definitely be moving on to France, and there's one place for, isn't it? Brilliant. It's England, Argentina, and France who are brilliant, and there's some other teams brilliant, but honestly, yeah, France are just brilliant, aren't they? They're just unstoppable. Honestly, you can't really. It's hard to beat France. Hard to beat a strong France side, and yeah, Switzerland did it against in the Euros, but France weren't at their best then, and yeah, it's France is just very good side. Moving on to Peru. They're a poor side. Poor side, yeah. Poor side. They've got a few half decent names. But Pulse will play with Denmark, doesn't he? But yeah, they've got there's no one really there that good. Yeah, so poor for me for Peru. Tunisia, poor. No one really don't really know any of their players. Sassy, I think he's gone as well. On it, they don't have many players at all, not as I know. Yeah, these are teams. Australia now. Then honestly, they were good. They are. There's no one there now. There's no one there I really know. No one's actually that good. They are just not a good side. They're not. They might not even qualify. I don't think they will qualify. So yeah. So Wales, Scotland, and Ukraine. We don't actually know if they're going to qualify. So do Peru. We don't know. Don't know if Australia. Any teams we know are going to qualify. Australia, number one. I don't think they'll qualify. I think it'll be Peru. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, moving on to UAE. Literally, if they make it to the World Cup, that'll be something right there. Honestly, I don't know much of their players. No, they haven't been in the World Cup for a while. I don't think they've ever been in the World Cup. So yeah, UAE are just not a very good side, not a strong side, not a good side. They could prove me wrong. They could qualify for the World Cup and try and surprise a few people, and I would love to be surprised. But yeah, moving on to Costa Rica, their poor side. They might not even qualify. They might not even qualify. So yeah, not really much to say about that one. Costa Rica are poor side. Moving on to Germany, brilliant. They are brilliant side. They're not absolutely brilliant, but they're brilliant. They definitely get into that category of brilliant. There are a few decent players. No, not a few decent. They've got very good players. Muller, Kimmich, Werner. Werner getting in that category. Havertz, Rudiger, Hummels. The list can go on and on and on. They are a very good side, and their Euros, yeah, they lost to us, but honestly, on another day they could have beaten us. If Muller had taken that chance, the game could have gone the other way. So honestly, Germany are a very good side. It goes down to the England game where they missed one big chance, and that's what made them lose. And then we scored. So yeah, not all to play for. Not all too much in England, Argentina, France, and Germany. They're all just brilliant sides, aren't they? Moving on to Japan, a poor side. They're not in the bin. They're not in the bin. But they're a poor side. They're not good. They're not bin. They're poor. Moving on to New Zealand. Yeah, I think that is New Zealand. Yeah, I think it's either New Zealand or Australia. They literally have the same flag. Honestly, well, both of them in the bin. Either of them are in the bin. Like honestly, I don't know which one's Australia. I can't be bothered. So yeah, either team. You're going to roast me in the comments, aren't you? Well, I don't really care. Moving on to Spain. Brilliant side. Brilliant. What can I say? They are just a brilliant side, aren't they? Yeah. They create chance after chance after chance after chance. They don't really take them, which is a bit of a worry for Spanish fans. But yeah, they're a brilliant side. Moving on to Belgium. Another brilliant side. I get the difference between Germany and Belgium. But yeah, it's very interesting, very good side Belgium are. Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku, had the Hazard brothers, Meunier, Courtois, Tillemans. Got very good players and they're a very good side. Moving on to Canada, and they're a good side. You need to watch out for Canada. They're very good. They're not a very good side, but they're a good side. They've got Alphonso Davis, and they're someone on loan, out on loan from Villa. I forgot his name, Keenan Davis or something like that. I think it is. He plays for Canada, I think. So yeah, they got some good names, and watch out for Canada. Watch out for them. They're a force to be reckoned with. Moving on to Croatia, very good side. I haven't made that brilliant category because I think they're the best players are aging. Their best players are literally in their last World Cup. So they're not a brilliant side. They're not going to thrash teams here and there. They're not really going to get to the World Cup final. They could. I'm not cancelling now. They could get to the final. They could win it. But likeliness is low. Moving on to Morocco. Good. They're a good side. They're like Canada. A good side. A few Kimi, Ziyech plays for them. A few other good names. Yeah, Morocco, very good side. Good side. Moving on to Brazil, brilliant. Honestly, brilliant. Like, you can't really say anything else, and they're brilliant. Neymar, Fabinho, Coutinho, Addison. They have some very, very good players and a very good side, and everyone needs to watch out for Brazil. Moving on to Cameroon, good side. They're a good side. They're like that. So like 3/4 into good and a quarter into poor. So they're good. Cameroon, yeah, they're a good side. They can win games a lot, and yeah. Moving on to Serbia, a good side again. Honestly, they are. They've got a few good players. Mitrovic is good. Tadic is good. They're not a poor side. They're nowhere near a poor side, but they're nowhere near a very good side. They're definitely just. It's boring to talk about them, isn't it? They're just a good side. Moving on to Switzerland. Ryan's are very good. They are just such an underrated squad. Like, you don't really talk about Switzerland that much, but we should. They're just a very good side, aren't they? Mbolo, Shaqiri, Xhaka, Sommer. Met you in the summer, Fogden, right there, for the Euros. So yeah, very interesting. Yeah, very good side, Switzerland. Moving on to Ghana. Yeah, not really much to say about that, is there? Yeah, just a poor side. Few alright players here and there, but yeah. Moving on to Portugal. Brilliant. Ronaldo. If Argentina get into brilliant category, Portugal get into brilliant category. And yeah, it's just they're alright. Portugal are a very good side. They're like that. They're sort of lowering down into that very good. But they're brilliant at the moment. At the moment, they're brilliant. Moving on to South Korea or Korea Republic, wherever it is. They're not bin squad. They're a poor squad. Not really much. They have Son. Few other players. Moving on to Uruguay, and they go into that category. Good. Yeah, look at that. A lot of good sides in this World Cup. A few very good sides, brilliant sides. A few poor sides, and a few bins. But yeah, that wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and see you in the next one. Peace.